Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Forza Motorsport 7 demo on the GeForce GTX 1050 2GB for FPS monitoring. This time I won't be using CAM since it's not currently working with Universal Windows applications, so I'll be using MSI Afterburner instead. And if you enjoy the content and want to support the channel directly, there's a link to the Patreon page down in the description. So Forza Motorsport 7 demo, I'll be doing 1080p, 900p, 720p and 1440p. To skip 10 of those sections of the video, check the description below. So my objective here is to try and get 60 frames per second, since that was what this game was designed for. The consoles would run it at that frame rate, so I'll just target 60 frames per second. On 1080p, by using pretty much high settings with textures on low, it was enough to be over 50 frames per second pretty much all the time. There were some drops in the frame rate when using the first person camera instead of the chase camera, since the windshield and mirror reflections seemed to hammer the GPU more than I expected. So if you want to avoid those small drops below 60 frames per second, I recommend to just lower mirror and windshield reflections or dynamic render quality to low. On 900p I was able to use a couple of the settings higher than on 1080p, but it wasn't that much different in performance. In this case, 900p wasn't present in the resolution list, so I just used 1080p with the resolution scale at 85%. 900p should be around 83.3%, but the game doesn't allow us to select that exact value, so I just kept it at 85%. And finally, at 1440p I lowered the settings quite a bit. I'm using pretty much a mix between medium and low, and I was able to be over 50 frames per second the majority of the time. One very important thing I need to mention is that this game appears to have a noticeable bug. When I first get into a race, everything runs fine, but if I finish or quit the race and join any other event, the game runs much worse, and sometimes it even stutters a lot without a reason at all. So I recommend every time you try different graphic settings or different stages or whatever, just restart the game. That worked for me so far. I'm not sure about what's going on with that, but hopefully for the release day in less than a month from now, they have a fix for this issue. For some reason we can't unlock the frame rate, so we are limited to 60 frames per second. The dynamic option there seems to just swap between the 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second lock if performance suffers too much. For this video I didn't use any of the graphics options as dynamic, but what that does is just change the settings you put on dynamic in real time to maintain a more consistent frame rate. Personally, I found it to be too aggressive sometimes, to the point of using much lower quality compared to what I could do manually, so it's up to you if you want to use it or not. I didn't find any post-AA options available. We only have MSAA, which is a big impact in performance and on the VRAM usage. It would be nice to have FXAA and SMAA available here at the very least. So far the reflection, mirror, anti-aliasing, car quality and shadow options seem to have the bigger impact in performance, so I would try to lower most things in groups to notice a performance improvement. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you keep enjoying the video, thanks for watching and see you next time.